Hi, welcome or welcome back to my channel if you're a returning viewer. My name is Elisa and in this video I will present my monthly knitting project, obviously, for the month of November 2025. Lately I like to have a slightly longer project. I also have a project that is spanning the all of 2025, which is almost complete, so I felt that for November I could start something new. And I am casting on 3 vests or sleepovers or sleeveless garments, call them what you like. And they are going to be the Cocoon Chokki by Noriko Ichikawa. Sorry Noriko if I'm saying that wrong, or with a horrible pronunciation at least. The Lulu Slipover by Petite, which incidentally is going to be my first ever Petite knit pattern. I've never knitted anything by her, and I know to many of you it will sound unbelievable, but that's a fact, that's it. And the Slanting Slipover by Ventzel, also a first for me, so I'm really excited. Also for the finished objects, of course, but also for the experience, because knitting is for me the experience as well, sometimes more than the finished object. So I'm looking down at my screen so I can give you all the relevant details. My first cast on is going to be the Cocoon Chokki, so we'll talk about that first. I'm going to knit it with this yarn. It is by an Italian producer. I'm Italian originally, so Sesia is one of the brands that I've known my whole life. It's always been one of the brands that was around the house when my mom knitted her stuff and so on, so I'm very happy to use it. This one, it's called Pura Lana Ecologica, which means pure wool, like organic wool or eco wool, and it's a blend of 50% virgin wool and 50% alpaca. It is very, very soft, very spongy, very, how do they say, lofty, I think they say. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's a soft gray. It doesn't have a name. It's color 0463, and it came in this beautiful box, which is, it says that it's also ecological paper and, how do you say, compostable, or yeah, it will melt away. I cannot, it's not completely translated into English, so I don't know. Biodegradable, that should be a word in English. Alright, it's 10 balls in the box, but it's not much in terms of meterage, because it's only 85 meters in the 50 grams, so when I got it I immediately knew that it would become a sleeveless thing, because I wouldn't have enough for the sleeve anyway. And it gives me the right gauge for the Cocoon Chokki, which is 18 stitches. However, the row gauge is, my row gauge is a bit less. It's 23 rows instead of 27 in 10 centimeters. But I don't really mind, because if it only means that it's a bit more cropped, it's okay, I think. And it has very deep armholes, so I think if they shorten it a little bit, it's still going to be fine. What else about this pattern? It is knitted flat for the first part, so you start from the back, I think, and then once you get to the end of the armholes you pick up the stitches for the fronts and you knit down, and then at some point you do join in the round. It has an interesting armhole detail. I wasn't so sure about that, because I like all my edges to be the same, so the neck and the bottom hem are 2x2 ribbing, and I sort of wanted the armholes to be the same, so I briefly considered omitting those stitches, I think 9 stitches for my size, and adding a 2x2 band after, But then I was like, you know what, I'm knitting a pattern, let's go for what the designer created, because just because, you know, it's somebody else's work, and if I choose it, I might as well go for it and stop overthinking things like I always do when I knit. It's just that I'm more used to making my own creations than knitting from other people's patterns, so I'm always like very, you know, critical, like will I like it, will I not like it. I hope it doesn't turn out too oversized, because that's not really my style. On the other hand, when I look at the photos, I really like the fit, so hopefully it will all turn out fine. Okay, my second cast on will be the Lulu Slipover, the Petite knit Slipover. What I like about this is that it's very classic. It's very timeless, and I think I will wear it for ages. I'm not going to stop liking it. And that's something I really try to consider when I knit something, because it takes so much time, right? And also the type of yarns that I tend to choose are not inexpensive, so it's worth making something that that you will really like. I particularly like the buttons on the sides with the double knitted button bands. I think they are very refined detail, and of course Petite knit is well known for this very neat and classy details. Even if her patterns are sometimes very plain, I think these little details elevate them a little bit. And I already have the buttons as well, but I don't have them here, so hang on. Okay, I went to get the buttons, but before talking about buttons, I better talk about the yarn, right? The yarn I'm using is a combination of these two. This one is the one I originally bought. I bought it first, not specifically for this project, but I accidentally bought the wrong quantity. I don't know how I ended up only buying 7 of this, I think, from the shop. The brand is again an Italian brand. It's called Norli, and this specific yarn is called Midiwoorli. Yeah, they have like a chunkier version that is called Big Woorli. This one is midi, and I think they probably have a smaller one, a thinner one. I don't know exactly. You can check on the website. All the details will be in the description, obviously. So I bought this one and a mohair to go with it, but again, the quantity was wrong. Because this is 125 grams, 125 meters in 50 grams, so 7 balls are not really going to get me a sweater. Not necessarily, maybe some sweaters, but not all of them. So I don't know what I had in mind when I bought it. I bought it like 2 years ago. They have a shop in a place on Lake Como that is not always open for public, I think. So it's like a how do you call it? I'll put the word on the screen because I cannot think of it. But sometimes they have openings, and I was there for my holidays, so I just contacted them and said, you know, can I come and take a look at the yarn, because I'm really interested, but I don't like to buy online. So if I can come, I will buy something. And I bought these and a few other things. Then time passed. I didn't use it anyway. I realized it was the wrong quantity, and then I used the mohair for something else. And then at some point I was like, okay, I really want to use it. I will make something sleeveless, and I went for this one immediately, but then looking at the color I realized that I found it a bit dull. I like green. It's now you see it probably a little darker than it is. It's like a sage green. Again, it doesn't have a name. It's color 410. I swatched with it and I found it very matte and dull. In the meantime, I had also used the another one, the bigger version of this, so the Big Woorli, and I really didn't like how the fabric I don't like how the fabric is holding up. It's not only a bit pilly, that wouldn't be a problem, but it's really floppy and it lacks structure. So I thought if I make something with this, I want to match it with something else that will like hold it together. This is extra fine merino wool, so it doesn't contain any of the fibers that normally lose their, or soften, maybe just soften and expand. I don't know what happened with that other sweater that I knit in this same fiber, but yeah, I really wanted to pair it with something else, so I bought this one from my local yarn shop that sadly now has closed to the public. They only sell online. It's called Setasuri. The brand is Lana Grossa, and it's 69% suri alpaca and 31% silk, and it has 212 meters in 25 grams. I've also used this before in another sweater in combination with mohair, so that's a very fluffy sweater. But these two together, the colors are very similar but not exactly the same. So I'm hoping to get some kind of marling or blending, so that this sage color changes a little bit and becomes a little less dull. Of course, the suri alpaca is a little shiny as well and plushy, so hopefully it will all work out well. I have swatched without the suri alpaca, and I got the right gauge on the 4mm needles indicated in the pattern, but again the fabric was a bit too stretchy and gapey sometimes, so I think the alpaca will fill it up nicely. I'm not going to swatch again, I'm just going into it. It's also not a fitted garment, so again, if the armholes are not as deep, or if it's a bit wider or narrower on the shoulders, it's going to be fine. The third and last slipover I am going to cast on is the Slanting Slipover by Ventzel, and I'm using this stash yarn. It's an older yarn that is not produced anymore and not sold anymore. I think it was still from Lana Grossa, still from my local yarn shop. I bought it a few years ago. It was called Sara, and it is a blend of 65% cotton, 30% baby alpaca, and 5% merino wool. It looks like a blown yarn. I'm not 100% sure, if I'm honest. So there are speckles in it, different colored speckles, so it might be that, oh, that might be the 5% of merino wool. I don't know. But it feels like a blown yarn as well, so again, very squishy, like blown yarns tend to be. It's color 21, it doesn't have a name again, and this yarn has again 125 meters in 50 grams, exactly like this one, but they look quite different. This one looks a lot more plump than the other one. And I'm also working it with bigger needles, slightly bigger needles, because I'm working this with 4.5, but I have worked it in the past on 5mm as well for different. I worked it in stockinette with 5mm. Now this slipover, as the Slanting Slipover, is all textured and it has ribbing all over, so obviously yeah, you usually for ribbing you usually need a smaller needle if you want it to to look neater, the ribbing. The gauge is 19 stitches over 26 rows, which I am getting. I'm sure about the 19 stitches. I'm not sure anymore about the 26 rows, but again, it matters only up to a point, because this one also has super long, super deep armholes, so I will be fine. It's knitted on 4.5mm needles and 4mm needles, it says, but then in the instructions there is a mistake in this pattern. I read through it and it never says to use the 4mm needles, except at one point it says switch to 4.5. So that's my clue that that you need to use the 4mm needles for the cast on. However, I'm not sure if I will do it. I will see how it turns out. I am knitting the smallest size because it will give me very little ease, but I think the yarn might not be enough. The yarn I have might not be enough for the bigger size. And also I have looked at Ravelry, and it looks like a more fitted style looks better on this one. Well, I like the more fitted versions more, let's say. So it has this flattering line along the armhole, and that gives me a fitted vibe. I don't see that as an oversized thing. And I'm already knitting the Cocoon Chokki will be massively oversized. So even if I like go back a little bit on this one, I will be okay. So I mentioned the needles, I mentioned the color. Yes, one thing I want to say is that this color is very dark, so I wonder if it will show the pattern as you know, precisely as a lighter color. But I don't think I would mind if it doesn't show that much. I'm pretty sure the ribbing along the along the shoulder opening will show enough. But yeah, even if it's a subtle texture, I don't think I would mind. This yarn is really pretty. I have used this blue color before, and the speckles are also very subtle, so I think it will all go well together, you know, the subtle texture and the subtle colors in that come out, that pop out in the blue. These are like a golden and a silver color. I don't know what they look like. My screen is too small, so tell me if they come through as gold and silver, because that's what they are. Okay, and I haven't shown you the buttons for the Petite knit Slipover. How do people show these things? They're very classic brown buttons, nothing special. Yeah, and they were in my button stash. I have a huge button stash. Okay, so when it's cast on, I will show the button against the fabric, but I think it goes with the overall classic vibe that this vest is giving out to me. Okay, I will update you. I will try to update you. No, I will update you, I promise, every Monday in November. And on the last Monday, we will see where I got to. Wish me luck. So it's the second Monday of November, and that means that it's time for my first update on my November cast on party project. I am knitting 3 vests, so 3 sleeveless garments, as you know already from the presentation, the introduction. So this is the first one I cast on. It's the Cocoon Chokki. Now it's difficult to show because it rolls up, and the Petite knit one also rolls up considerably because it's all stockinette, but you can see the shaping. I will see if I can put it on dolly. So this neckline, this is the neck opening, and it looks really, really wide, but it has a big mock turtleneck, so it will fill up once that is done. It also has some shoulder shaping with short rows. I had a bit of a problem, let's say, with the short rows. You can see some irregular stitches here because these are German short rows, and I couldn't be bothered to replace them with my favorite technique, which is wrap and turn. And yeah, so the stitches are quite visible, but I think, yeah, this is wool and alpaca. I think it will block out nicely. And anyway, this is the back. It's the back of the shoulder, so I will not see it anyway, and it's fine. I know I knew already that these double stitches that you make for the German short, for the German short rows, they always turn out pretty ugly when I make them. I don't know why. I cannot make them properly. Anyway, I also want to show you the armhole detail. This is an integrated band that will sit here at the arm, maybe like this. Yeah, it's very sunny today, so the light is really not very good. I say it so frequently in my videos. I really have to figure out the light thing if I want to continue doing this. Okay, this is how much I've got. It's 14 centimeters, and this is the end of the first ball of yarn, so I think the yarn will be enough to complete the piece, which is a relief, always a relief. The second update is on the Lulu Slipover by Petite Knit, also rolling up quite a lot, also stockinette. So this is what I have got so far. I haven't really measured it, but it looks pretty much like the other one, probably a little less, so let's say maybe 12-13 centimeters. This one is considerably narrower, but here at the sides a band will be added. And the increases are the European shoulder style increases. Here 4 stitches in, so there's a nice chunky band here. And I really like this fabric. I don't think it will be possible to see it. Ah, there it is. Yes, you can see the plushiness of it. It's really, really fluffy and soft, and I really like the color. The color is slightly different in real life. This looks grayish, but in real life it's olive green. It's a dark olive green. I'm very happy with how the two yarns combine, because one is the alpaca is slightly darker, and I think you can vaguely see here as well that there's a bit of a marled effect, but it's very subtle, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy. I wasn't sure. Because I don't really like the color of the merino here. It's a bit dull, but it's really a lot better in combination with the alpaca. Gets a bit darker, a bit darker as well. Very nice. I'm very happy with it. And my third project has only just been cast on. Here it is, on straight needles, yes. It's going to be transferred to the circular short cable for the neck. These are the neck stitches of the Slanting Slipover by Ventzel. And the reason why I cast it on straight needles is that this is a tubular cast on, and I always do that because I find it easier to keep the stitches along the same line. I don't know how to say this, but when you cast them on, they tend to turn or roll around the needle, and I just find it easier when then I work the first round to have them or to turn them in the right direction. It's just easier, trust me. maybe you do the same. And actually in the pattern it recommends to do the same. So for me, it was a great validation to know that a well-established designer like Anne Ventzel does the same that I do. There's not much to see for now, but I'm really happy. It looks very plump, and I've used this yarn before, so I know that I like it. And just for the sake of having a little laugh, I want to show you my needle. Here, can you see all these little holes? Yeah, I will put in a photo of the feline responsible for these little holes. Hi, third Monday of November. It's the 17th of November, so third Monday of November, and this is an update on my November vest project. My first cast on was the Cocoon Chokki, and here is where I got to. It's difficult to show, it curls up a bit. At some point it looked like a sausage around the needle. I got to the point where I have almost finished the armhole. This has super deep armholes. If I put it against my body, you will see that it's already very deep and it's not finished yet. Now there is some kind of shaping, but I still have, I think, this much to go before I can put this on hold and continue to knit the two fronts. So this is the back. I'm going to have to take up stitches along the shoulders, but I still have a good few, like 20 rounds to go, so maybe that is gonna happen tonight. So far so good. I'm quite happy with it. It goes very fast. I'm knitting it on 4.5mm needles, as I probably said already. So compared to my usual gauges, this is super fast. I normally like to knit smaller gauges, so this is very fast compared to that. And my second cast on was the Lulu Slipover by Petite knit. I got to a similar length on that one, and it's also curling a lot in all directions. So this also has very deep armholes, so you knit down straight for a while. And now I am also at the point where I'm doing some shaping. There are some increases here, and I reckon that I will finish this section maybe between, oh, not tomorrow. Tomorrow I don't think I'll be able to knit on this, but yeah, let's say midweek I will get to the end of this section, and then I will here as well pick up the stitches along the sleeves, I think. The fabric is particularly satisfactory on this one, so now that I have a bit of it, I will try to show it. It's very fuzzy. I'm knitting with a strand of merino and one strand of alpaca, and this is very, very soft and squishy, and it's really nice to work with. Okay, and my third one was only a few rounds of the cast on when I showed you last. After I did that, I joined to knit in the round. You can still see the gap, because when you start on straight needles like I do, then you get this, but you have a tail, and then you go in and close this gap. Maybe you can also see against the white wall how gapy my my twisted ribbing is. My light is going away. Sun, what are you doing? Let's see, let me take up the curtain a little bit. So this is much better. This is the reason why I'm not a big fan of twisted ribbing, because I also get these very white and visible gaps. In this case, it's probably not a big issue because I'm going to wear this with something underneath anyway. What else? So after you join and knit a few rounds for the collar, you start knitting on only one side. So you add in stitches for the two shoulders on the two sides of the neck, and you start knitting the front. Now the sun is too bright. My goodness, this is so difficult. And there's a central section that, of course, you cannot see. Maybe if I put it there, you will see it. No, maybe coming closer. Because this is very dark. So it creates a very subtle pattern, and that's fine. I was doubting. I have this yarn in a lighter color, but not enough to finish the slipover. So I was wondering if I should try anyway with the lighter color, which is very similar to the photos in the original, but in Anne Ventzel's photos that she has on Ravelry and on her website as well. But I think I'm happy with this subtle pattern, and I will have to find a way to show it better. But I think it's still very elegant. This yarn is, the camera doesn't do it justice. This is a very pretty and elegant yarn. So what happens here is that you increase and decrease to make the shoulder section taper down. So it's wider at the top and then it tapers down towards the bottom. So the increases and decreases and the central section with the pattern, make for a very engaging knit. So when I started on this one, I kind of left aside the Cocoon Chokki, which is plain stockinette. So it was somehow more interesting to knit on this, but this is clearly not going to be finished by the end of the month. So the thing is, we are already over the midpoint of November. I still have 2 full weeks, but I am nowhere near the midpoint in any of these patterns. So what I'm planning to do, what I think I will do, is prioritize one of them at some point, maybe 2 of them, but it's not going to be this one. It's probably going to be the Cocoon Chokki or the Lulu Slipover, because it's going to be easier to finish one of those 2, or maybe both of those 2. I will see. I think I will still work dividing my time between all of 3 patterns evenly this week, and then next week, which is the last week of the month, I will decide what it is best to do based on where I am at that point. So I will update you again in a week. And now we're going to dress Dolly. Hi, this is a midweek update. It's Wednesday today, but I wanted to show you the Cocoon Chokki, where I have knitted the back until the end of the armhole pattern, so ready to be joined to the fronts. Once I have knitted the fronts, I have knitted one yesterday evening, so I wanted to show you this basically. The shaping, the short rows here, and the neck shaping here. The neck will be inserted. You can see that I have some visible stitches here where I've made the German short rows. This always happens to me. I basically cannot do German short rows properly, but I think I'll be able to fix this with blocking and, you know, with like pulling on the stitches a little bit. I'm going to show you the inside as well. I have cast on for the shoulders here with the cable cast on, and I did it exactly because I knew it would create this very nice and neat line after picking up the stitches. So these little details, I find them very pleasing. Okay, so now we're going to pick up the stitches for the right shoulder. So yesterday I thought that I would really like to add the neck to the vest, because adding the neck always gives you a more precise idea of what it's going to be like. And I picked up the stitches and started knitting with 3.75 millimeters. I'm knitting the body on 4.5, so I thought it was reasonable to go down to 3.75, but it still looks a bit messy, especially on some of the columns, but in general it's not very it's a bit too elastic, so I think I will redo it and go down to maybe 3.25, but we will see. If I do it, I will do it tonight, so I have time to think about it all day. Hi, welcome to the last Monday update. Yes, it's the last one because today is the 24th of November and next Monday will be the 1st of December. So if I am very good at this, you will already see the uploaded video. Hopefully you will see the uploaded video, but in the worst case it will be up that week. Anyway, this is the last update and I am in a very bad mood this morning because I made a massive mistake on one of the 3 sleepovers. So I'm trying to smile, but inside I'm crying. And that's because, not only because of the mistake, of course, because of the mistake, I will have to rip back a massive number of rows, but also because it tells me something about myself, you know, how eager I am to make progress on my knits and maybe don't look at them with enough attention, and being more aware of what I'm doing is one of my knitting goals this year. So luckily it's almost the end of the year, so next year I will choose an easier goal, because this has always been, you know, one of the difficult things for me. Well, for everybody maybe. But anyway, doing things for the process and for the learning and not for the finished object, although this is learning as well. It's part of the learning process. So, shall I show you? I'm even ashamed of myself showing you. It's very dark, luckily, so it shows a bit less. But that's also part of the problem. So, you see that I have a lot more stitches between the markers here than on this side. Yeah, I stopped mid-row because this is when I realized that I had made the mistake. So I think it's visible. I have a lot more here. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, and here I have only 4. I have half of the stitches between these 2 markers than I have on this side. So what happened is clearly that I have made some decreases where I shouldn't have made them. So I have tried to figure out where I have made the mistake. But again, it is so dark and so fluffy. I don't think the camera shows the fluffiness either of this yarn. But you can see it's like this. It's very fluffy, so it will be also very difficult to rip back. And I will have, I think, to rip back row by row and count the stitches, because I really cannot. So the stitches I put on here are the right number. Those I counted, and I could count, and they are the right number. And at the beginning, they look like they are the right number. So when I started the central section on that first line, they are the right number, but then they quickly change and they are mismatched. So the right number is the this one, the 8 stitches at this point. So at some point I realized that on this side I had less stitches. I started the row and I was like, wait a minute, I know how many decreases I still have to make, and this doesn't add up. I don't have enough to make all those decreases. And I thought, let me finish the row, and at the end of the row I will count them. So I got to the other side and I counted them on this side only. And on this side I have the right number. So I was like, fine, you know, I got the wrong impression. I can just carry on. And that's what I did. And I carried on for like maybe this much. And then when I got to 4 stitches, of course, it was pretty obvious that it couldn't be for 4 stitches with the number of decreases that I still had to do. So I had one of those moments when I was looking at my knitting and going like, how did this happen? How? I haven't realized until this point. So now this will stay there for a while because I'm hyper focusing on my Cocoon Chokki this week, and then hopefully with a clear mind and having regained my patience, I will pick it up again, try to frog it. I don't think it's possible to fix it. Sometimes when I make mistakes, wait a second. Sometimes when I make mistakes, I try to find creative ways to fix them, like you will see in a moment, because I have another tragedy ready for you there on my little coffee table. So when lathering up, if it's one stitch, you know, that you have missed, or a couple of stitches, or maybe when you're knitting lace you miss one yarn over, there are ways to fix that. But in this case, being increases and decreases and being 4 stitches, I don't think, even if I spot the rows where I made the mistake, it's possibly as many as 4 rows, because you decrease 1 stitch at a time here. So even if I go back, if I leather back, then it would be too many stitches to then be able to reconstruct the fabric. So I don't think it will be possible. I think I will have to try and rip back and hope for the best with the yarn, because fluffy yarns, when you rip back, sometimes they lose a bit of the fluff. So hopefully that will not happen. But anyway, that was yesterday's tragedy. I have another one in store for you. It's my cast on number 2, the Lulu Slipover. This is plain stockinette, so luckily there's no missing stitches or no wrong increases and decreases. That's my dehumidifier. I hope you can hear it. Anyway, I have completed the increases for the body. So you increase a little bit here at the shoulder. I think I've said this before. Then you knit down. This is a very long armhole, and then you increase at the sides to shape the underarm, and then you knit down again. So I have started knitting down again, and I really like everything about this so far, except that I didn't realize that this would be way too long for me. Way too long for my short body. I know that I am short, and I know that I have to adjust in that sense sometimes. So again, I have no idea how this escaped my attention. You know, when you read the pattern, the instructions are given for length, so knit to this many centimeters, not with rows, so it's not a gauge problem. I have a little gauge issue because yeah, my row gauge is off a little bit, but not so off that it would cause a problem with, you know, a normal length. The thing is that when you get down to the point where the armhole is finished and you start knitting straight for the sides, so it's a button band, and then 10 centimeters for the piece where the buttons will go, and then 10 more centimeters for the bottom hem, so 20 centimeters. When you reach that point, your piece, for my size, is already 39 centimeters long. So 39 plus 20 is 59, almost 60 centimeters. And I know that that is way too long for me. I liked not cropped things, but, you know, I don't like long things. Not always. I have, of course, a few long garments, but it's not my preference. And if I have to choose between long and short, long and cropped, I always choose for cropped. I think it goes better with, you know, my style, quite simply, and the things I like to wear. So yeah, I will have to find a solution for this. Now, I expect it to be really, really too long. When I put it on, I expect it to be too long. So it's not a big problem because what I can do is shorten this bit. So basically cut off a piece, quite simply, and then graft it together again. So it will be like this much cut off and grafted again. I don't think it will show too much. I hope the fluff will hide it, and, you know, I trust myself to be able to do it in a way that that will not show too much. It's just a bother to have to do something like that when I could simply have thought about it and shorten that very long armhole by like 4 or 5 centimeters. So what I'm planning to do before I cut away is to finish the piece following the instructions exactly, and then pick up the stitches here at the shoulder to knit the 2 fronts. That's what you do. You knit 2 fronts, you join for the neck here, and then you knit down again to the same length for the armhole. So before I get to that length, I will add the neck so I get a more precise idea of how the fit will be. And then I will do a partial blocking, also to check that the vest doesn't really grow in length, and it is possible, right? So at that point, I will have a more precise idea of what the back looks like, and I'll be able to decide how many rows I want to cut away, and so how many rows I need to knit for the fronts. Again, it's not a smooth process, but it's doable. This is definitely not annoying me as much as the Slanting Slipover. It's doable, it's okay, and this plain stockinette is being so relaxing to knit on. It's a great knit for those mindless moments. Those 2 will be paused this week because yes, I want to have at least one of the 3 vests finished by the end of the month. So I only have this week to work on it, guys. This week and the weekend, because technically the last day of November is Sunday, I think. And I think it might be doable, except I am not at all monogamous in my knitting, so I hope I don't lose focus and motivation. But yeah, having such a near deadline, I think it will help me to like speed up on it. And what I did is adding the neck on this one as well, again, to have a better idea of how it will look like. Now, which is the front and which is the back? This is the front. So this is, yeah, it curls up a lot still, but this should be it. And I haven't tried on this neck yet, so I'm going to do it here with you now. And to be quite honest, after those two disasters, I am quite nervous in case, in case I spot any mistakes here on camera now. I knitted to the required length, which is 8 centimeters, and I'm planning to do a tubular bind off. That's a sewn bind off, and I'm trying a new technique for which you don't have to switch the stitches. So when you have a 2x2 rib like this one, what you would do traditionally, or what I've always done and learned to do, is to swap and get a 1x1 sequence. So knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, and then you do the tubular bind off. But it's always a little bit visible, I think. And because this is such a beautiful neck, I wanted to try that other technique that should be less visible. I'm thinking now if I should try and do it on the neck right away, or knit a few rows of, in a scrap yarn and then try it there. But I am quite confident that it should work. Well, I don't know how I can be confident after making all those mistakes, but I still am. I still am. So maybe I'll do it tonight, so I don't have to have the needles dangling here from the neck. We will see. I'm home alone tonight. My husband is not at home with me, so I will have a bit of quiet time, and I think I can do it. I don't think I will film the process. It's a new thing, like I said, so I'll probably be nervous and need to really focus on this and not on the filming and how the filming is going. I think we will see. We will see how it goes. Maybe I'll film a little bit. So once I get the hang of it, maybe I will manage to film a tiny bit. So shall we try it on? Yes. Yes, I can't see anything that is massively wrong with this, except that I got all tangled up with the needles and the yarn. Okay, I think it looks... this is so annoying, sorry. But I think it looks really good enough. So this is another midweek update on the Cocoon Chokki. I think it's realistic to think at this point that it will be finished by the weekend, because I got to a point where it's rolling up a lot, but I got to a point where I have like maybe 10 centimeters to go, maybe less, and then a bit of ribbing at the bottom. And I have in the meantime picked up the stitches for the neck and knitted the neck. I have finished it with this, what's it called? Invisible bind off. It looks like a tubular bind off. It's not technically a tubular bind off, but the look is similar. It's the same. It's exactly the same. It's a sewn bind off, so when I have to do it on the bottom edge, it will be a nightmare, but never mind. I like to do those things. This is the armhole. It's quite deep, but like very deep. But based on my swatch, it should shrink up a little bit. And that's why I am debating now if I should do a partial blocking to really assess the length before I finish it off. And I think I probably will, because tomorrow I am at work all day, so I won't get a chance to do much knitting, honestly. So maybe tonight this goes in the soaking bin, whatever you call it. Yeah, it will be soaked, and yeah, so I'll get a more precise idea. Now, after doing the whole of the neck and most of the bottom ribbing, I feel confident enough to show you a little bit of this invisible binding off technique for 2x2 ribbing. As you can see, my second stitch in the knit column leans to the left a little bit, in some columns more than others, but yeah, I think it's acceptable. So welcome to this last update for the month of November. I'm happy to say that I am wearing my finished object, my only finished object for this month-long project of knitting 3 vests. But yeah, I never doubted that at least one would have been finished, and this was honestly the easiest one to get done. It doesn't present any specific difficulty, so it's completely suitable for beginners as well. It's an instant satisfaction pattern, I would call it. It's really one of those things that fly off your needles, and at the same time, I would say it's engaging enough because of the detail here. So every row is different, and yeah, that keeps you busy, right? So it is mindless. You don't have to look at a pattern all the time, because at some point you know where you are and you kind of memorize it. But at the same time, at the beginning of each row, you have to ask yourself, where am I? So I've tried it on with some different outfits before. You will see them at the end. I will insert them at the end. And this one I think was my favorite. I'm wearing jeans. You cannot really see the jeans under, but with the white shirt, I think it's lovely. It's so comfy and so warm. Today is a very cold day here in the Netherlands, in the south of the Netherlands, where I am at least. And yeah, it's lovely. I can already see that I'm going to wear this a lot. So you've heard all the technical details at the beginning, so I'm not repeating those. Possibly the only thing I didn't say is that I knitted size 2, and I have 2 bows left over from this project. I had 10, and I have 2 left over. I didn't expect to have any leftovers based on the yarn quantities stated in the pattern, but I do. So maybe those could be like part of a future Cocoon Chokki, made like a stripy one maybe. I think that would be lovely. Anyway, what else do I want to say about this? It's very comfy. Let's say it's comfy. You can see this massive armhole. It's also very wide, obviously, but it is as it was supposed to be. So I hit the measurements that are indicated in the pattern. Yeah, and this is very similar to the fit that you see in the pattern photos. So and yeah, I think my yarn and the color of the yarn are also very similar to the pattern photos. I was very original for this one, but I think I got exactly the right yarn for this one. I wish I could make you feel it. It's really drapey and soft. It's a mix of alpaca and wool, as you know from the beginning of this video, and after blocking it really softened quite a lot. So my bottom hem is still unblocked because I literally finished it yesterday. And yeah, you can, if you touch it, you can really feel the difference, like a lot. Yes, we will see how it holds up. Okay, just looking at some irregular stitches. I think the problem I had here, I had some irregular stitches from the short rows, and this is completely solved with the blocking. So I am 100% happy with this one, honestly. The pattern was also written very clearly and very easy to follow. There is one mistake that is there is an errata on the Ravelry page, so if you follow that you will find it, but honestly it's a very obvious thing. It's an instruction that is repeated twice, so you will understand that it's a mistake. There's no way you can get it wrong, because it says knit the back and then it says knit the back again, so obviously you've knitted it already, so you cannot go wrong with that. Okay, my other two sleepovers, this is the one that is the more advanced. Ooh, so much that it's difficult to show it. I think I have someone here. So, do you want to feature in the video? Then you have to come back later. Sorry, my daughter. This is the Lulu Slipover, and I got to start the ribbing. It curls up so much. Yes, I started the ribbing yesterday on a slightly smaller needles, so 3.5 instead of 4. And you know already that I would probably have to take away a bit here. I'm still very happy with this one, very happy with the fabric, and it won't take long now before this is finished. This will be, I think this will be my next priority, because I really want it as a finished object. And now the Disaster Slipover, aka the Slanting Slipover by Ventzel. It's already off the needle because, as you know from before, this will have to be frugged. However, I have an interesting update on this one. So in a previous clip I said that I probably made the decreases wrong, and I couldn't for the life of me find where those decreases were wrong. And I blamed it on the very dark yarn. My eyesight has never been very good, and now with age, at least in the past, I saw well from, you know, when something was close up, and now not even that anymore. So I blamed it on the yarn and my eyesight. But the truth is that I haven't made any wrong decreases. The decreases are as they were supposed to be, and the increases as well. So what was wrong was the initial stitch count. So here it is quite visible in real life. I'm not sure if it is visible on camera, but I have more stitches on this side than this side. Yes, if you look at it, you can see it. So it's totally something that escaped me. I still blame it on the pattern, because the pattern says work knit 1 per 1 and then repeat X number of times. So that means that, oh wait, what is it? It's a kind of instruction that my brain never gets. So if I read the word repeat, it means that it's on top of the 2 I have just knitted. Otherwise, the pattern should say you knit 1 per 1 for a total of these many repetitions. Not repeating. Repeating means you do it again. So that's why I had more stitches on one side than on the other. I should have counted, obviously. So let's say it's a 50%. We need to take the blame 50-50, me and maybe the translator into English. I'm using the English pattern, so maybe other languages don't have this problem. Who knows? I haven't looked at any others, so I will definitely have to rip back until here. I don't think there's any other way I can fix it. And that was already the plan, so fine, I will do it. Today my hands feel a bit sore, possibly from all the knitting that I've done on this one or in the past week. So tonight I might do this instead of knitting. So that time that I usually use for knitting, I might use it for ripping back here. I will have to be really careful to make sure that the yarn doesn't lose the fluffiness, and yeah, also to make sure that I rip back to the right point, also because there were short rows in here, so I don't want to mess with that. You know, I just have to be make up for not being precise before and be very precise, at least in the ripping back. I estimate that this will also be finished by the next video, so end of December. I'm planning to see you again between Christmas and New Year's, so these two will definitely be finished. And I want to show you something that wasn't technically part of this November project, but it's still something that I have on the needles and that is almost finished. Oops, I dropped the project bag. It's this scarf, and this is a gift knit. It's going to be gifted before my next update, so I will show you now, because in real life, no, it's not real life, this is not real life, but I mean, yeah, live, because I will only have photos when I next update you. It is the Mara scarf by Audrey Borrego, and obviously it needs a good blocking, but you can see how lovely this texture is, and I'm really loving this yarn, which is hand dyed by a local to me hand dyer. She lives and works something like maybe 20 kilometers from here. She works in a mill in an area that is it's actually well, it's a site, it's a UNESCO site with all these mills, and her mill is right there next to the ones that belong to this site, so originally belonged probably to the same group of mills, the ones that keep the Netherlands dry, well, dry from below and from seawater, because right now it's really pouring down. And there's another clip in this video where it was raining cats and dogs, like they say. So yes, this has an I-cord edge, and it's one of those mini scarves where you knit until you have used half of your yarn, and then yeah, you knit increasing in this case because it has a pointy tip, so you knit, that's the wrong side, yeah, but the wrong side is also relatively, you know, it's pretty. I wouldn't mind if this showed. So you knit until this midpoint, increasing, and then you decrease. So I don't have a long to go now because the rows are so short here that that it goes very fast. So this is it for this month. Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe to my channel, to comment, and to give me a thumbs up. It always makes me happy. It feels very motivational when I know that people like what I do. And I wish you a lot of fun and possibly a lot of rest in the holidays. I will see you, like I said, right in the middle of the holidays between Christmas and New Year's. And until then, be well, my friends. Happy knitting.